Hello and welcome to this webinar session from Leica Geosystems. This forms part of our Geo Business Forum, which of course is still a virtual event due to the current pandemic situation that we unfortunately still find ourselves in. This presentation is all about a brand new feature in our Cyclone FIELD 360 app called Quick Plan. It will demonstrate how to create and extract rooms from a point cloud, plus add features like doors and windows, which could save you valuable time whilst back in the office. We'll first start with a quick speaker introduction from myself. I will then try and explain the software and where this fits into our reality capture portfolio. So what is the actual product positioning and where can this be utilised? I will then try and give you all the information regarding the software with product introduction and tell you how quickly and efficiently the Quick Plan tool can be utilised and obviously the suggested workflow. I will then follow this up with a quick video demonstration of the app so you can actually see the software and how to extract the data. We also have a few predetermined questions that have been sent in by customers already using this in a commercial environment before we have a brief summary and close the presentation. So for those that don't know me, my name's Phil Marsh and I'm the UK Sales Manager for Reality Capture, which includes our terrestrial laser scanners, reality capture software, and now includes mobile mapping devices like the new BLK2Go. I've been with Leica for just over 10 months, but I've been within this environment for the last 10 years. I also have 25 years experience with various roles and companies within the surveying industry here in the UK, and my degree is from University of East London in surveying and mapping sciences. I started using this scanning technology back in 2007, where we utilised the sort of the HDS 3000 in the very early days, and my passion is all things 3D laser scanning. We're helping customers create unique deliverables from point clouds. So I'd like to start off and explain this journey from field to finish with our products, but we have four main stages of our process. So we have capture, process, manage and deliver. And they form part, the first three form part of the generic workflow, and the last one obviously is the application specific stage. So within the capture area, we've obviously got the reality capture hardware, which is the P series, the RTCs, the BLKs, the mobile mapping, the UAVs, and obviously the backpack solutions. The process inside of the software is where we take the data from the field and we pre-process that information within things like Register 360 and Infinity, and then we push that through into the manage stage where we create and publish unique file formats such as LGS and Jetstream. We then have the final delivery stage where we can bring that information into a CAD environment and work with that point cloud efficiently. So the first stage is obviously the capture, and this is where we're going to be concentrating our efforts most. So this is where the Cyclone FIELD 360 is utilised at this stage, because it's the actual application that collects and processes the data whilst in the field. So now we've looked at the sort of product positioning and where that sits within our reality capture portfolio, we can now look at the software in more detail. So the Leica Cyclone FIELD 360 Quick Plan, the key points. So this is an add-on to the existing FIELD 360 functionality, as well as an add-on to the existing Cyclone FIELD license, with the idea that you can create floor plans and 3D models of an entire floor or building with that data you've been collecting in the field with the FIELD 360. So it's the registered information that you're directly capturing in the field. The goal of this is to create the 3D models and the floor plans of the buildings in the form of an IFC file or a DXF file that you can either directly share from the field to the clients, or you can continue with these files for final refinement in a CAD package in your existing office based workflow. Because it's an add-on to an app that can be used by all the scanners, which is currently supported by FIELD 360, so we can utilise the BLK 360, the RTC 360, and now of course the P series, plus any additional scanners that could potentially be supported in the future will be supported by FIELD 360. Quite obviously this is targeted towards the AC market, but especially for architects and facilities managers that will consider this to be a companion to the existing workflows, so we can create the user needs and create something quickly and directly in the field. So before we take a look at the entire workflow in detail, I'd like to quickly summarise the workflow of Cyclone FIELD's 360 Quick Plan. So basically, it's the field registration that exists already in the field with the Field 360, and you are just defining horizontal slices through the point cloud. You can first define the thickness and the position of your slice. Then you can quickly extract the line segments by quickly swiping your finger above that recognise detail, and it will recognise instantly that that's a line segment, and therefore will place a wall exactly across to that line segment. So you can simply move your finger along those walls to create rooms. Whenever a polygon is closed, a room is created, and therefore you're working on a single room. These will all be stitched together to define the thickness of the walls and obviously the adjacent rooms. Inside these rooms you can then define the room heights in order to create a 3D model. Plus you can define openings, i.e. doors and windows, and these can all can be selected and measured from directly from the 360 view. In the end, when you've created your 3D model, you can then obviously export it as an IFC or a DXF, which can either be directly shared from the field or consumed in the post-processing software later down in the workflow. I've already mentioned this is for all the scanners that we have within our existing range, and the deliverable is been designed and created in the field, which means you can maximize your field time whilst waiting for the scanner to collect data. So even with the RTC 360, it's a very quick 2 million points a second. These still seconds that you can utilize, and obviously you can extract some information. With regards to licensing, it's an add-on for the field-based software, but the only thing is the license protection is in the export. So our customer base can utilize the app, can start getting to use the app, but obviously to export the final deliverable, then you would need a license for it. So the workflow, let me quickly talk you through the workflow before we jump into a live video sort of demonstration of the actual software. The first step is to activate the feature by pressing the red button at the top right hand corner of the tablet. Then you simply swipe your finger across the screen, and this brings up a new set of controls, buttons and commands that are specific to this add-on. So this has been designed in a way not to overload the software with complicated additional buttons. So some software can look very cluster. So it's a streamlined interface. The nice thing with this, you can at any point swipe back to the main app to continue with your scanning tasks. So you can then continue creating new scans, geotagging, linking existing scans, and you can continually switch between the modelling of the room and the controlling of the scanner, which you can make so therefore you can make very efficient sort of time savings. So whilst it's scanning, you can be actually doing something like modelling. You can even switch back from planning and modelling while you're in the middle of creating a room, and the current creation process will be automatically saved as a draft room, so you can continue that at a later stage. So if you do happen to have a different resolution on site, which is a slightly quicker one, and you've not quite finished modelling the room, you can continue that at a later stage. So when you're ready to begin and you're ready to create the horizontal slice, by selecting the position and the thickness, you simply swipe along the part of the wall with your finger. You don't have to touch the entire wall, just one part of the wall is enough. The software will extract the line segment out of the point cloud and will allow you to extend where possible. Then when you do the second line, this will be automatically intersected, so you have a choice between a geometric intersection or a perpendicular intersection, so you can actually force the walls to form a 90-degree angle if required, but this obviously can be done as default, or you can change this individually to suit the room. If or when you happen to pick the wrong line or the wrong room, or potentially you've not zoomed in enough, you can of course choose the undo button and then redo the extraction correctly. The position of the slice can be changed to suit the individual walls, for example. So for example, if there's a cupboard or something obstructing the wall, you can gain the wall at the higher level, so you can really decide where to do the extraction to create the deliverable. Once the polygon is closed, you're basically now saving the room. So you press the close button in the bottom right hand corner, and then the room becomes available in your database and is stored as an object. So you can still go back to edit the parameters of the room. So if you've not quite had enough time to add the doors and the windows, you still save the actual geometry of the room. So when the first room is measured, here you have to define the room height by tapping a point on the floor and then on the ceiling to therefore record and measure the room height. This is done within the 360 view, and you can continue within that view to define the doors and windows which will be integrated onto the walls. You can do this by either picking 3 points or 4 points on the frame. 3 points if you have a door and 4 points if you have a window. And you can also use the undo commands if you happen to make a mistake. You can undertake all these functions within the 360 view in the main app. This also offers you the connections to the other setups, so you can hop between them quite easily, which sometimes makes for a better view of a certain window or door which is not quite visible just from one setup. Obviously, if you've got multiple setups in each room, you sometimes got better visibility from a single setup. We also include one setup which is outside of the room. So for example, you can hop to the closest nearest room. Sometimes obviously that'll be the one in the doorway, so you can hop between the rooms, and then you can start to create features of the neighbouring room. Once you're finished with all your rooms, you can visualize your 3D model in the 3D viewer, so you can actually see the entire geometry you've collected, and you can overlay that with the point cloud, so you can see both the created geometry and the point cloud. You can also do this by a single selected rooms, or you can select all the rooms at once. When you're happy with the result, you can export everything in the room in the browser, where you can save to a DXF file, or you can save direct to an IFC file. This is saved in the saved storage location of the device, the tablet or the phone. For example, the exported file we can create as a job tag, which means the file is an asset attached to the job, which means that the file is actually part of the job. So when you come to import the data later in Register 360, either from a tablet or from a BLK 360 job, or in case of an RTC, obviously the data is written back to the USB storage, then therefore you'd import from the USB storage. With it being an asset in your data, you can also publish to an LGS file to continue with the work, potentially in CloudWorks downstream, so therefore you can continue to edit and create that model. The IFC built from neighbouring rooms and along rooms in the same direction, meaning that all the connected rooms are nicely connected together, and if you need to take the data directly into a BIM package, it's all as in the BIM authorization package. The final thing to remember is you have two options while working with the data. One is you can actually share the data directly from the field using your email client, or you can send it to a key stakeholder if you think this is better off finished in the office. You could have potentially started it in the field, but you could potentially finish this in the office, so you can continue at a later stage. As part of the new Cyclone FIELD 360, we have also we've created the Quick Plan tooltips, which is in essence tooltips to guide you through the sort of sequencing of the software to give you the best understanding and steps of the workflow. So basically this is how it looks. If you go into the app for the first time and there's no created information, you click on the room browser, you'll see a little text box pop up which helps you to know which buttons to press to create the first room. Similarly, if you're about to create the first room, a little tooltip then appears with the slider bar to show you the position and the thickness, a bit like what we have in Register 360 as a true slicer, which is a helpful tool. Also similar, when you hit create door and create window button, you get the little explanation that you need to select 3 points on a door frame or 4 points of a window frame. So a little reminder on just how to extract that information. So I think it's a good guided process that helps you understand the full workflow whilst using the software for the first few times, and obviously you can switch that off. So once you get familiar with a process, you can then switch that off. So this is a short video demonstration of the app in action. So we have already released this new version, so please feel free to contact me for more details if you think this would be useful for your reality capture workflow. It's available for Android and iOS, which is obviously downloaded via the usual Play Store and App Store, and will form part of the new version, which is 3.1. So we're launching a new Field 360, which is 3.1. So some other features in this version includes an area measurement module. So not only can you select a distance between 2 points, you can now measure a complete area between multiple selected points. And we also have the new unit setting, so we can show meters and feet, which has been requested by customers in the US. So to summarise, this is an additional and optional feature for Cyclone Field 360 software, which is called Quick Plan. It was designed in a way not to impact on the layout and the design of the original app. So customers already using this software to capture the data wanted to be able to do extra things with the app to maximise their field time efficiently. So some of these customers did not want to spend time in the office with expensive CAD package, creating very simple, low-level detailed models. But please remember, you can still use the time effectively to also look at finishing this model back in the office, because the information is contained within our LGS file format. We needed to be able to work with all our scanners, which collect data via the tablet. So we've achieved that. Plus, we've future-proofed it, so any additional scanners that use this software will be able to use this new add-on. So in terms of a few questions that have been sent in from customers that's currently utilising it in the field. So the first one is, how do you know who is using the Quick Plan app add-on? Is this on a first come first served basis in the licensing? So in answer to that, the Quick Plan function must be manually triggered by the user. When they start the Field 360, they will automatically consume the Field 360 license, but they'll not automatically consume the QuickPlan add-on. So the first person to manually check out the QuickPlan is granted access to it, and obviously they're not available to other users. To release the QuickPlan function, the user must sign out of the app. It'll give the QuickPlan plus the Field 360 back, therefore allowing other users to then log in and check out. We've added a new feature within Cyclone Cloud, looking at the sessions, so you can actually now tell who's got what license. So you can name a session, so it could be somebody's iPad, or it could be an asset tag, so you can quickly find out who's utilising that license. Next question, will QuickPlan affect the minimum specs for the tablet or mobile device? In answer to that, no, the minimum specs will remain the same. Any currently supported device will remain supported for the next version. With that being said, we do highly recommend a tablet with a larger screen due to the nature of the work. So a tablet based with maybe an 8 or 10-inch screen is ideal, because you'll be trying to zoom into particular walls and features and details and extract that information. Would it be available to upload the DXF and IFC model in Cyclone Enterprise directly from Field 360? So yes, you can upload the IFC into Cyclone Enterprise by loading it into the desktop software first. So you would have to create the objects on the tablet, import the data, and then publish from Register 360, and that information will be retained as an editable object within the project. Does the software create the door into the wall, so visible from both sides? Yes, the windows and the doors that you create in the room are aware of other rooms. They're all linked together. So window and door is defined from both sides, so you will see the opening from both sides. So it's a BIM object. So I'd just like to thank you for your time for listening to this webinar of the Cyclone Field 360 QuickPlan. If you do have any further comments or suggestions, please reach out to me directly using the details on the screen or any social media channels. And I'd just like to end with saying thank you and goodbye.